I do a lot of multiple camera shoots, sometimes up to 4 cameras at a time. An example of such is the podcast my wife and I also run here in the studio. I'm monitoring all cameras at once. If it's just one person, can be taxing. Yes, there's the option of hardwiring all cameras to, say, a video switcher like the A10 Mini Pro via HDMI, but in some instances, hardwiring may not be ideal. This is where you'll be better off. Okay, now that you've decided to go wireless, you will then find out that the cost associated with having like 4 wireless transmitters on 4 different cameras would push the budget way up. This is where the Shimbol TP Mini comes in. The Shimbol TP Mini is a very affordable 5 GHz wireless video transmission system with a transmission range of up to 600 feet, roughly 180 meters, and a latency of 0.07 seconds. According to Shimbol, that is enough transmission range to cover an entire soccer field, providing a reliable and smooth wireless experience for live broadcasting, shooting, and transmission in most scenarios. It costs only $89 on Amazon and comes nicely packaged in this cute box. In the box, you'd find a Shimbol contact card, a manual, a USB A to C cable, and a transmitter and receiver. Straight out of this box, for me personally, I like the red design and it feels very strong and premium. There are no antennas, which initially had me worried, but this provided no issues. We will find out later on in this video. In fact, I had my wife take the receiver upstairs with a monitor and there was no signal drop. I believe this is because it is designed in such a way that the top black part, which is the plastic, is the antenna, while the remainder of the device is made of what Shimbol says is aviation aluminum, making it very, very light. There are also a few holes on one side of both the transmitter and the receiver, and I believe that's for heat dissipation as there are no fans. The receiver features 2 HDMI outputs, so you can plug more than one monitor or loop out to another wireless transmitter system, which I don't think I have seen on any other wireless video transmission system. There's also a USB-C port for power, there's a switch for powering on and off the receiver, a square play button for pairing, and checking the battery status level. Although straight out of the box, the transmitter is already paired for you, so I wonder why would still have that. Maybe if there was any need where there were any issues, you can easily just repair the systems again. There's also an OLED screen that shows that the receiver is on or off and the battery indicator level. At the back is a nice large enough eject button that allows you to remove the Sony MPF battery if you need to, as that's the battery it uses. And finally, at the bottom is a thread hole for rigging up to a camera or whatever you have. This is the same thing for the transmitter, but the only difference is that one of the HDMI output is an HDMI in. And so you can use the other HDMI out to loop into an external monitor. Now, this would be a good time to say that when using a wireless video transmitter system with your camera, always connect your camera to the HDMI of a transmitter before connecting it to a monitor. This way, you bring to the barest minimum any latency. For weight, the TP Mini is very light at about 113 grams for both the receiver and the transmitter. So I'll start with the TP Mini so you can see how it works, and to do this, I prefer using the Portkeys BD1 and my Portkeys LH5P monitor. I like this setup because it eliminates the need for carrying heavy batteries or a cage. I have done a video review of the Portkeys BD, which I'll put in the description section below, or I'll put it up here. As you can see, the TP Mini sits very nicely behind the LH5P monitor as the size flushes just perfectly. As you can also see, I have a different monitor here. This is the Blackmagic 5-inch, the Ultra 12G. I have it hardwired to the transmitter, which is just on my camera. And later on, I'll connect it from this monitor or from the second HDMI output of this receiver to the monitor. In fact, let me just do that. But before I do that, let me show you the speed. So this is from the receiver, the TP Mini receiver. This is from the transmitter. I don't know if there's any difference in the speed as I wave my hand. Any difference? So now that I've done waving my hand, I'm going to connect from the output, the second output of this transmitter. So the second output of that receiver, the receiver, and I'll have to disconnect this cable coming from the transmitter, and I'll now plug this into the in. So I've now plugged it into the in. Is there any difference in the speed? Was there any difference from before? So this is connecting a second monitor from the HDMI receiver. So I'll disconnect that, put that down, and I'll plug in back the cord coming from the transmitter, which is on the camera. I think that's back on. Yes, so we have feed. And for now, what I'll do is probably rest this here. Okay, that's not safe, but I'll just leave it there. So that's the Portkeys LH5P, and that's the Blackmagic Video Assist 5-inch. I'll click to come out so you can see if there's any difference. Let me tidy up the cable here. So I'm waving. Is there any difference? So I'll leave a link in the description where you can buy the BD1 adapter from Portkeys. And here you can see that the speed at which the system transmits signals when I wave my hand across the screen. All right, so we're outside. It's a cloudy day. This is the second time I did this recording because I wasn't comfortable and satisfied with the first recording I did, or the first test I did. So I have the Shimbol TP Mini's receiver on the Blackmagic Video Assist. I also have the Shimbol TP Mini also. Its transmitter on the Sony A7 IV. And I'm going to walk a few steps back. But before we do that, I need to measure the distance from where I am and to where I'm going to walk to. Shimbol says the range is 600 feet. 600 feet is roughly 182, 83 meters approximately. Yesterday I did using the Apple's iPhone measure app. I wasn't satisfied, so today I'm going to use Google's measuring app. I'm recording screen so later I can show you guys my exact measurement. The Blackmagic Video Assist here is showing me, just in case I lose any connection between the transmitter and receiver. I'm recording screen, so I'm recording in ProRes proxy, which will still give me good quality. So at this point, there's a plane flying over my head. Hope it doesn't disrupt the audio. But it's good to say at this point, Shimbol advises that when using the TP Mini, the part that has the Shimbol logo, so the antenna is, and between the receiver and the transmitter, they should at least be facing each other. So I have it this way, where it's facing the transmitter. So this receiver's logo is facing the transmitter's logo that's on the camera. So I'll keep it this way and keep walking back. I'm gonna walk to 101 feet before I turn back. So let's keep going. On the monitor I can see my behind. Currently the logo on the receiver is not facing the logo on the transmitter, but I can see I have clear signal, so that's good. And I'm currently at 167 feet. So let's see if I can walk up to 100 or 1,000 feet and still maintain connection between the transmitter and the receiver. I like doing these things. I'm currently at about 270 feet, and looking at my monitor, I can barely see myself. That means there is still signal between the transmitter and the receiver. So I'm approximately 500 feet, which is about 0.1 mile. And I can still see myself on the monitor, so this is okay. Uh-oh, there's now a disconnection. So at about 0.119 miles, when the transmitter was backing, or the receiver was backing the transmitter, there was a disconnection. So where I am now, I'm going to turn around. Let's see, it will be a disconnection. And there is no disconnection. So let's keep going. Okay, so at 600 feet is approximately 0.114 miles. At this point, I shouldn't have connection, but I have connection. So this is good. This is impressive. At some point, when I rotate or bend, I lose signal. Remember, there's 0.07 or 70 milliseconds delay in audio. But I can see myself at about 0.134 miles, which is over 600 feet. From my test and from what you saw, I went over 600 feet. At about 664 feet, I began to lose signal between the transmitter and the receiver. But when I raised up the monitor, which had the receiver on top, I was able to get signal. The distance is long, the long walk. Doing tests for YouTube is crazy. It's not easy. So I'm impressed by this little piece of equipment. Make sure the logo part, which is where you have the Shimbol logo, is facing the one on the transmitter. So receiver and transmitter should be facing each other in terms of where the logos are. Then you can get better signal. I'll give this a pass. This is good. For its price of $89, I recommend it. Let's get back into the studio. Knowing the exact battery life when using this transmission system requires a bit of calculation, and this is dependent on the capacity or type of power supply you are delivering to the device. Already, the TP Mini is an ultra low power unit, meaning it does not use too much power. Using a battery like this one that I have here should take over a day. That's roughly 26 hours. And this is how I calculated it. Since the transmitter draws 2.5 watts per hour, and because the Sony MPF battery, which I have here, is a 65.12 watt hour battery, when you divide 65.12 by 2.5, you get 26. Hence, 26 hours approximately. While this battery here, the 25.9 watt hour battery fully charged, should take approximately 10 hours. So there you go. For the receiver that draws 2 watts per hour, figuring out the total should be easy. The TP Mini costs only $89, and even though it may not match up to a $700 wireless system like the Holy Lamp Pyro S, takes a tad bit of time to boot up, or the slower response time of 70 milliseconds or no mobile app, it is important to say that this system is still handy to get the job done if you were looking to frame properly or light a particular scene up. It's still affordable that you can buy multiple of these systems and rig them up to your cameras. That's it for today's video. If you want to get one of these, kindly use the link in the description section below. I get a small kickback that helps support this channel. This doesn't add any cost to the price. Now, if you like this video, kindly click the like button to show your support. Don't forget to subscribe so you can see more of my future videos. And if you have any questions, drop in the comment section below. It's your Filmmaker. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.